Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, where we're talking about tips and tricks for publishing your book. And today we're talking about social media, and we're going to try really hard to keep it to 5 minutes, but I already know we're probably not going to. So
You want to try?
we're down to our best.
Sure. This is really important because we're going to be talking about what type of content should you post. It helps so much when you can set up a daily or weekly schedule
Yes.
or what kind of content to post instead of staring at the computer screen, wondering what the heck you want to say today. And Welcome has come up with some really comprehensive content management systems. And I'd love it, Jocelyn, if you'd share some of that with us.
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. And I'll just say that in the years that I've been doing this, my process changes as I get smarter and better. And so the spreadsheets and the systems that I was using like a year or two ago no longer work. And so I streamline what I'm doing. But I think one of the biggest problems with writers that I talk to, one of the biggest problems they have is what to post about, because they know they have to start posting on something, maybe, hopefully, and they need to start talking about their books, and they don't know what to post about or what to write about. And I think it's why we see a lot of buy my book posts, because people just don't know what else to post other than buy my book. So my current system is a Google spreadsheet that I'm using right now, and I will share my screen here. There we go. And how I am doing it is I keep track of the date I'm posting, the caption for whatever it is that I'm posting, and what I think is really important for me to track, and probably for a lot of writers to track, is like, what type of post is this going to be? Is this a static post? Is this a carousel? Is this a reel? So I keep track of the type of post that I'm putting up. And then I have a list of topics. And my topics are based off of my audience, which is really important. Who am I writing for? And what am I writing about in my Hellgate Chronicles series? Character point of view is one. Nostalgia, because I'm writing about Gen X. And so nostalgia is a big theme for me. Lore drop, I'm writing fantasy, so I talk about the world building. The emotional truth, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of character change and a lot of character emotional exploration in my books. So I talk a lot about that emotional aspect. The reader hooks, polls, teasers. So I have a very specific list that I have built of what I talk about based on my audience and who I'm trying to attract to my books. And so I go through and then I mix and match and decide, like, what am I going to write about? And I try and not write about the same thing multiple days in a row. So like I have like April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I will pick like character point of view, a behind the scenes, a nostalgia, an emotional truth, and then I'll throw in another character point of view. But what's really important is I know what I'm writing about and what that topic is. And again, it's really based on who I'm writing for. Who is the audience of this series? And my audience is going to be different than Kathy's audience. So Kathy's topics will probably be different than my topics, and themes will be different. Some of the things might be the same, like a behind the scenes or a character point of view, but Kathy hasn't built a magic system. You don't need, you have other systems and you have another world to write about. So we're both writing about worlds, but I'm also including like magic stuff. So I think that topic list is probably the most valuable part of this entire spreadsheet for our viewers, because that's really where you figure out what are you actually writing and posting on social media. What kind of content are you putting out there in the world? And once you know that, the rest becomes easier because then you can start tracking what type it is, what are you saying? When are you saying it? When are you posting it? Um, and then the next level, once you start knowing this and you start posting it, then you can start tracking the data on how it's performing. And this is a new month of April, so I have a whole new blank sheet that I'm working on. But this is just like that very simple step. And I think for viewers, again, figure out your topics.
Yeah, it can even be as simple as, okay, I see this a lot in the wellness industry. We're gonna Motivation Monday, right? Every Monday you write about motivation. Teaser Tuesday to tease your next novel. Writing Wednesday. A lot of people do Wednesday words, one line Wednesday, where they take something from their novel and put it up, or sneak peek Saturday. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do to make it just easier on yourself to know what to post each day. Whether you use a spreadsheet, whether you just scroll something down on your planner, whatever it is, have something so that you're not just looking at the screen going, oh God, it's another day.
Like oh, exactly. And one of the other things that I do is I put together a prompt list so that if I don't know what to write about on one particular day, I've got like a compost pile prompt list that I can go to and pull things from and just be like, I don't know what to post. And I went from posting every day to now I batch every week. And that makes life so much easier. I do content Sundays. I take like a couple hours on Sunday and I put together all my social media for that week. And that just makes life easier than sitting there on 8 o'clock on Monday morning and going, oh my God, I don't know what to post. The other thing I will say about social media is you want to talk to readers, not writers. That's a problem that I see a lot of writers get caught in, is they're writing to writers and they post for writers. And you have to remember that your audience, they're readers. And a lot of them want to know about the books. They might be interested in why you're writing, but it's not the same drive to learn how you've written things the same way that writers are going to want to know. And so your readers, it's just like we keep talking about with covers and, advertising. You've got to get you out of the equation and start thinking as your readers on what your readers want to know about.
Right. And it's really great. And you've got a novel, you can, that novel's in a place, right? So you can give readers a taste of the hometown of your character, or you could show them the food your character eats. I mean, my book's set in El Paso, Texas. I have more than one Mexican food post. Or cocktails, or take them through the library, or whatever it is. There's so many different things you can
Exactly.
give readers that kind of slice of life of your book in a social media post.
Yeah, because you know the space you're writing about, but your readers don't know whether you've made the world up or not. Your readers may be reading your book from someplace in Maine and you're writing about the tropics of, South America. They're going to have no idea about South America. They're going to want to learn through you. So, yeah.
Another thing is, reader recommendations, introduce them to an author you like. There's so many different things you can do, but for me, it's easier to say, okay, I'm going to do reading recommendations on this day. I'm going to kind of slice of life on this day. Figure out what you want to do and organize it in a way that you don't, this is again, stare at the computer and end up not posting because you need the content.
Right. And the biggest thing with social media is consistency. It's teaching the algorithm that you're going to show up and you're going to do the work. It's just like being back in like middle school. You got to show up to the class on time at 8 a.m. day after day. The algorithm is that teacher that's looking to see if you're in your desk. It wants to know that you're showing up. And just by showing up and putting something out there that people think is worthwhile looking at, it makes a huge difference in how your posts are perceived. So I've got all kinds of other things, but you got to do it simple. You've got to do what's easy for you because it's got to be fun and it's got to be easy or you won't do it. And if you're not doing it, just don't do it.
Probably take all that much time. And if you've got some stuff ready to go, if you've got a system down, it won't take that much time.
No.
So,
No. So, all right. So that's our social media content crash course. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. We can come back to social media a lot because I know it's a big sticking point for a lot of people. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
bye.